This simple technique you can use is going to make any meat delicious. Chicken, pork, beef, you can do it all and it takes almost no effort. Let me show it to you guys on Chris Cookin' Nashville. So one of the things you're going to need to do this is a really nice sharp knife. And I want to thank Hoshanho Knives for sponsoring this video. This set is what I'm going to be using. This is the Pao Butcher Knife set. This set is really nice. Not only do you get this magnetic block, you also get 7 different knives. You have a cleaver style, more of a carving, chopping style. You have the typical Viking style knife, and you have another slicer here. And then on the back here, I have a nice slicing knife of that variety. We have a boning knife, and there's a super wicked sharp point paring knife. And it even comes with this really nice leather travel case. So if you want to take your knives on location, which is something I actually do pretty regularly when I cook for people in various situations in the carnivore community, you can wrap everything up in here. They're fully protected, or you could even store it in here if you don't want to keep it on your counter on the magnetic block. I'm going to have a link down below for you guys to go get this knife set because it's fantastic. And if you're looking to do things like I'm about to do today, this knife set is unbelievable. And you guys know I love Hoshanho. I have their other set back here in the block on my counter. Let me show you how we use these and slice up this steak and what it is we're actually going to do with it, because this is high protein, easy to customize, plenty of all of those good animal fats, and you can season it however you want. Show you how we make this Philly cheesesteak bowl. So we can do this with any kind of meat. You can do this with pork, you can do this with chicken, you can do this with beef, which is what we're going to do today. You can even do this with raw beef, or you can do it with pre-cooked leftover beef, just like this. I'm going to show you this one today, but you can do this with raw or cooked meat of any kind. Let me show you how we do this. So I have some leftover cooked ribeye. We could not eat all of the ribeye that we made. It's really, really good. It was dry brined. It was cooked perfectly. It's smoky. It's fantastic. I had already sliced this when we were eating dinner. Just make sure you have cut it into chunks that are maybe an inch thick at the most. One of the things that makes meat really difficult to reheat when it is left over is you tend to push a lot of juice out of the meat because you're setting those proteins much firmer. Cutting it super thin, like I'm about to show you how to do, makes a big difference, because even with it frozen like this, you can cook it so quickly that you can get it back up to temperature but not overcook it and tighten those proteins to force a bunch of the extra juices out, which means you can really cook any cut of meat you like. It doesn't matter whether it is tough or super tender. You can use this for almost any cut. One of the things that makes meat tough is those protein bonds that are so tightly wound together, and then we try to chew through them and we have to use our teeth to break them down. When you freeze it and slice it thin, there's a lot less of those protein bonds for you to have to chew through. So it makes something like this not only good for meat that's already been cooked, but for any of those tough cuts that are on sale, but maybe not so easy to cook sometimes. The key here is to freeze the meat into manageable size chunks that you can slice. Cutting this up is not the only thing we got to do to it to make it delicious. So I'm using the very heavy cleaver style knife. This is very thick metal with this Pao series set. These are very, very sharp. What we're going to do is take our steak, find the place on the cutting board where it is not going to move on you. See, it's not going to rock back and forth. And what we're going to do is take the knife and very carefully slide as we shave. And I'm not pushing down hard. I'm getting a thin cut of the meat and I'm sliding forward as I give gentle pressure so that it shaves the meat thinly. What we do not want to do is come straight down and put a whole bunch of extra pressure behind it, because that's when knives slip out and you can cut yourself. Cut little thin shaved slices of frozen meat. Being frozen means that it's going to use that sharp edge of the blade and shave and curl off exactly like that. This is the same thing you get when you do something like shabu shabu, which is a very thin sliced meat that is cooked in a hot pot. But this is a way you can create it at home, and you can use leftover meat like this, raw meat that has not been cooked yet, and create these beautiful, thin, tender shavings of meat. And if you have a good set of knives like this Pao series from Hoshanho that are so sharp, and especially because they're so heavy, it really works well to slice through this meat and create these thin shavings. And notice, I'm not forcing the knife down, I'm sliding it forward with gentle pressure and letting it peel the meat off the front of the chunk of steak. And if you're careful and you practice, you can actually do this fairly quickly. It also helps to have a really nice, comfortable handle like these knives have, so that when you get a good grip on it, you don't end up slipping or struggling to hang on to it or anything like that. The way that I would suggest you grab this is 3 fingers behind the blade, keep your thumb and finger up here where it connects to the handle. That way you have full control, side to side, back and forth, and very carefully slide forward and slice. Can I help you? All right, if you want to go a little more on the keto or ketovore side, we can include some onions and peppers. If not, leave them off if you want to remain more carnivore. So for our onion first, we're going to cut the top and the tail off. And then we're just going to cut it in half. So I'm going to turn it facing away from me, keeping your fingers curled back, thumb hidden behind your fingers, so we can just slice down through. Instead of fiddling, trying to get the core out and the seeds and all this other stuff, just start here at the top on one of these little bumps and slice right down to the outside, following the curve of the pepper. Do the next section. Work your way around and throw out the core. I'm just gonna chop this up into similar sized pieces now to the onion. Heavy bottom pan is preheated over a medium-high heat. We got just a little bit of smoke going on. You can use any animal fat you want. I'm going to use butter, but feel free to use beef tallow, bacon grease, lard, whatever you like. That's a couple of tablespoons. If you're using veggies of any kind, those are gonna go in first to soften. We're gonna add a pinch of salt just to help those soften and break down. Season as you wish. I'm gonna add a little bit of fresh ground black pepper. Once we start getting some color on the onions and peppers, if you're using them, we can go ahead and add in about 1/2 cup of beef broth. And optionally, sprinkle over about 1 tablespoon of gelatin. I'm gonna reduce this liquid down by about half. It's gonna start to thicken up and the peppers and onions will be nice and soft. Now, obviously, if you're not using any peppers or onions, you can just throw the beef in along with the beef broth and the gelatin, and you can just cook that all together. If you are using raw beef or chicken or whatever else you might be using instead of something that's already cooked, you wanna go ahead and dump out the peppers and onions into a bowl, put some more fat in your pan, and go ahead and cook your raw meat. Once the meat is done, you can add the liquid and the peppers and onions, if you're using them, back on top. Since my meat is already cooked, I'm just gonna throw it in here once this is reduced and cook it until it's hot free. But stick around because I'm gonna show you how we top this and make it even better. I just have some mozzarella here. You could use provolone. If you want more of that Cheez Whiz style, you could throw American cheese in here. It's entirely up to you. I'm just gonna grate some mozzarella over the top and we're gonna start to mix that through. Now you can customize this Philly cheesesteak bowl any way that you want. Different veggies, if you like mushrooms or other sorts of low-carb options, you can season it however you like. You can add more cheese. You can use a different kind of cheese. It's entirely up to you. And if you want to make it with chicken or pork, you can do that. Use chicken stock or chicken broth for the chicken version. For pork, you might even be able to find some ham broth. But if you want to be able to put this on a sandwich bread, you gotta go check out this video of my French dip where I did just that with my carnivore bread. This is Chris Cook in Nashville. Eat your meat, love your life. I'll see you guys on the next one. That is so good.